Did you know the average American spends over $1,000 heating their home each winter? Meanwhile, the Amish, living completely off-grid in sub-zero blizzards, stay warm for pennies. And today, I'm revealing their 30 best-kept cold climate secrets, no electricity required. Hey friends, welcome back. If you're tired of sky-high heating bills, power outages that leave you shivering, or just dreaming of a simpler, more resilient life, you're in the right place. The Amish have been mastering off-grid survival in places like northern Indiana and upstate New York for generations, where winters hit minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit and snow piles up for months. They don't rely on tech, they rely on wisdom. So I dug into their journals, talked to homesteaders who live like them, and compiled 30 brutally practical, budget-friendly hacks that actually work. Whether you're prepping for emergencies or just want to slash your winter costs, these tips are gold. 1. Ditch your electric space heater for a soapstone wood stove. Forget those noisy, power-hungry space heaters that jack up your bill and die the second the grid goes down. The Amish have a better way: soapstone wood stoves. These aren't just stoves, they're heat batteries. Soapstone is a special rock that soaks up intense heat while your fire burns hot. Then, long after the flames fade, it keeps radiating gentle, even warmth for hours, sometimes all night. That means you burn less wood, sleep warmer, and never worry about blackouts. Plus, there's no fan, no electricity, no beeping, just quiet, steady heat that feels like a hug from your house. Many Amish families cook on these stoves too, so you're heating your home and your dinner at the same time. It's efficient, reliable, and built to last generations. And in a harsh winter, that slow-release warmth isn't just cozy, it's peace of mind. Once you've felt a room heated by soapstone, you'll wonder why everyone's still plugging in flimsy heaters that vanish when the lights go out. 2. Stack rocks or bricks around your wood stove for free heat storage. Here's a trick that costs almost nothing but works like magic. Place bricks, stones, or even old clay pots around your wood stove. As the fire burns, these heavy materials soak up extra heat, just like a sponge soaks up water. When the fire dies down, they don't go cold right away. Instead, they slowly release that stored warmth back into the room over hours. The Amish have been doing this for generations because it smooths out temperature swings and keeps spaces cozy long after bedtime. You don't need fancy gear, just clean, dry stones from your yard or leftover bricks from a project. Arrange them safely, never block airflow or flue pipes, and let them do the work. It's passive, silent, and 100% off-grid. Think of it as giving your stove a heat savings account. Deposit warmth during the day, withdraw comfort all night. And the best part? Zero electricity, zero bills, and zero stress when the power goes out in a blizzard. 3. Only burn dry wood. Test it by knocking two logs together. Wet or green wood looks like firewood, but it's basically just expensive smoke. The Amish never burn wood that hasn't dried properly, and here's their simple test. Grab two logs and knock them together. If you hear a sharp clink, like tapping two rocks, you're good to go. But if it's a dull thud, that wood's still too wet. Burning damp wood wastes fuel, creates creosote, a dangerous chimney gunk, and gives off half the heat. Dry wood, on the other hand, burns hotter, cleaner, and longer. The Amish season their wood for at least 6 to 12 months under a covered, open-sided shed. Rain stays out, wind keeps air moving, and moisture escapes. This free, low-tech method turns ordinary logs into premium fuel. So before you toss another log on the fire, give it the knock test. Your stove and your winter comfort will thank you. 4. Cook dinner on your wood stove to heat two things at once. Why use two energy sources when one can do it all? The Amish cook every meal on their wood stove, not just to save money, but because it's pure efficiency. While your stew simmers or your bread bakes, the stove is also warming the whole room. That's two essential jobs done with a single fire. No extra gas, no electricity, no wasted heat. On freezing nights, the kitchen becomes the heart of the home, warm, fragrant, and full of life. Even boiling a pot of water for tea adds moisture and warmth to dry winter air. And cleanup is easier when your sink is near a warm stove, not a cold window. This isn't just old-fashioned, it's smart. You're not just cooking food, you're capturing every bit of heat that would otherwise vanish up the chimney. So next time you light your stove, put a pot on it. Feed your family and heat your house in one go, just like the Amish have done for over a century. 5. Use a hay box cooker to finish meals with trapped heat. Here's a forgotten kitchen trick that feels like magic. The hay box cooker, boil on the stove. Wrap the pot tightly in hay, straw, wool blankets, or even old quilts, and let it sit. The trapped heat keeps cooking the food slowly, without a single extra log. The Amish use this method to save precious firewood during long winters. Your meal finishes cooking while you do chores, nap, or tend to animals. No babysitting the stove required. It works because insulation holds in the heat you've already created, turning your pot into its own oven. Bonus, food stays hot for hours, flavors deepen, and you avoid burning or overcooking. All you need is a sturdy pot, some dry insulating material, and a lidded box or basket to hold it all. No electricity, no fuel, no fuss. Just smart, silent cooking that stretches every bit of warmth you've worked hard to make. 6. Close off unused rooms to focus your heat where it matters. Heating an empty bedroom or a drafty back room is like pouring hot water into a colander. It just vanishes. The Amish never waste heat on spaces they're not using. Instead, they close doors, hang heavy quilts in doorways, or even use temporary fabric partitions to shrink their living area down to just the kitchen and main room. This zone heating means all the warmth from the stove stays right where people are, keeping them comfortable with far less wood. In a small, sealed space, even a modest fire feels powerful. And those closed-off rooms, they act like cold buffers, slowing heat loss through outer walls. You don't need smart thermostats or fancy dampers, just awareness and a few spare blankets. On the coldest nights, think like the Amish. Live small, stay together, and keep your heat concentrated. It's not about sacrifice, it's about strategy. 7. Keep a cast iron kettle on the stove to add warmth and moisture. Dry winter air doesn't just crack your skin, it makes you feel colder than you really are. The Amish fix this with one simple item, a cast iron kettle filled with water sitting right on top of the wood stove. As the stove heats up, the water slowly steams, adding moisture to the air. That humid warmth feels softer, deeper, and more comfortable, turning a chilly 60 degrees Fahrenheit into something that feels like 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Plus, you've always got hot water ready for tea, soup, or washing dishes. No electricity, no humidifier to clean, no noise. Just quiet, natural comfort. When the water gets low, top it off. It's a tiny habit with a big payoff. Healthier air, easier breathing, and a home that feels truly warm, not just hot. And if you toss in a cinnamon stick or pine needles, suddenly your whole house smells like a winter cabin dream. 8. Sleep above the kitchen or living room to catch rising heat. Heat rises. That's not just science, it's free energy. The Amish design their homes so bedrooms sit right above the main living area or kitchen. All that warmth from the wood stove floats upward overnight, turning the sleeping quarters into a cozy, naturally heated zone. You don't need extra firewood or a second stove, just smart layout. Even if you're not building a new house, you can apply this idea. Use upper rooms for sleeping in winter and save the colder lower rooms for storage or daytime work. On bitter nights, that few extra degrees from rising heat can mean the difference between shivering and sleeping soundly under a single quilt. It's passive, silent, and costs nothing but a little planning. So before you crank another log into the fire, ask, am I sleeping where the heat wants to go? Let physics do the heavy lifting, just like the Amish have done for generations. 9. Line the wall behind your stove with reflective tin to bounce heat back. Your wood stove shouldn't be warming the wall behind it. That's wasted energy. The Amish fix this with a simple, old-school trick. They mount sheets of tin or galvanized metal on the wall directly behind the stove. This shiny surface acts like a mirror for heat, reflecting warmth back into the room instead of letting it soak into the wall or escape outside. It's cheap, easy to install, and makes your stove feel noticeably more efficient. Plus, tin is non-flammable and durable, perfect for high heat zones. Some even paint it black to absorb and re-radiate a bit of extra warmth, but the key is reflection. You'll feel the difference right away. More even heat, less wood burned, and a room that stays comfortable longer. No gadgets, no wiring, just smart use of basic materials to turn every BTU of heat in your favor. 10. Store firewood under a roof, but keep the sides open for airflow. Storing firewood seems simple until you end up with soggy, smoky logs that barely burn. The Amish avoid this with a clever setup. They stack wood under a roof like a lean-to or open shed, but leave the sides completely open. The roof blocks rain and snow while the open sides let wind move freely through the pile. That airflow is key. It pulls moisture out of the wood, helping it dry faster and stay dry all winter. No tarp needed. Tarps trap dampness and slow drying. Just neat rows off the ground on pallets or logs, covered only from above. This method keeps wood seasoned, clean, and ready to burn hot when you need it most. And because it's protected from snow, you can grab dry logs even during a blizzard, no chipping ice off your fuel. Smart, simple, and 100% passive. Nature does the work, and you get better heat with less hassle. 11. Stuff rags or rolled-up newspapers into window cracks to block drafts. When icy air sneaks in through window cracks, your heat sneaks right out. The Amish don't wait for fancy weather stripping. They grab what's already in the house: old rags, scrap fabric, or even rolled-up newspapers. They tuck these tightly into gaps around windows and doors, creating an instant draft stopper. It's free, fast, and surprisingly effective. On freezing nights, this simple step can raise indoor temps by several degrees just by keeping cold air out and warm air in. And when spring comes, pull it out, compost the paper, wash the rags, and store them for next winter. No tools, no trips to the hardware store, no waste. It's not glamorous, but it works. In a world of high-tech fixes, sometimes the humblest solutions, like a rolled-up newspaper, keep you warmest. 12. Hang thick quilts or wool blankets over windows at night. Windows are weak spots in winter. They leak cold like a sieve. The Amish know this, so every evening they hang heavy quilts, wool blankets, or even feed sacks lined with fabric over their windows. It's like giving your house a warm coat after sunset. These thick coverings trap a layer of still air against the glass, cutting down on heat loss and stopping that icy window chill from spreading across the room. By morning, just pull them back to let in daylight. Many Amish families use old or handmade quilts for this, so it's practical and preserves something beautiful. Bonus: wool naturally resists moisture and holds heat better than most modern fabrics. No need for expensive thermal curtains or plastic film kits, just what you already own, used with purpose. It's quiet, zero energy, and turns a drafty pane into a cozy barrier, all while your house sleeps. 13. Make a door snake from scrap fabric and dried beans to seal drafts. That annoying draft whistling under your door? The Amish stop it with a door snake, a long, soft tube filled with dried beans, rice, or sand, sewn from leftover fabric. You lay it right against the bottom of the door, and it molds to the floor, blocking cold air like a cozy homemade dam. It's quiet, reusable, and costs nothing if you've got old jeans, feed sacks, or worn-out quilts lying around. Dried beans work great because they're heavy enough to stay put, but flexible enough to seal uneven floors. And unlike foam strips or plastic sweeps, a door snake won't scratch wood or wear out in a season. Plus, it's easy to move when you need to open the door wide. On bitter nights, this humble barrier keeps warm air in and winter wind out, proving that sometimes the simplest fixes are stitched together with scraps and smarts. 14. Rub linseed oil on wooden window frames to naturally seal gaps. Wood shrinks in winter, and those tiny gaps around your windows, they're letting in cold air like a slow leak. Instead of reaching for caulk or tape, the Amish use raw linseed oil, a natural plant-based oil that's been used for centuries. They simply rub it into dry, cracked window frames with a rag. As the wood absorbs the oil, it swells slightly, closing hairline gaps and creating a tighter seal. It also conditions the wood, preventing further cracking from dry indoor air. No fumes, no chemicals, no peeling plastic strips, just quiet, old-school maintenance that works with the seasons, not against them. Reapply once or twice a winter, and your windows will stay draft-free and smooth for years. It's a small act of care that pays off in warmth, comfort, and preserved craftsmanship, all from a bottle that costs less than your morning coffee. 15. Pile snow against the north side of your house as natural insulation. Snow isn't just something to shovel, it's free insulation. The Amish know that a thick, packed layer of snow on the north side of a home, the coldest, shadiest side, acts like a thermal blanket, slowing heat loss through walls and foundations. While it seems counterintuitive, using cold snow to stay warm, it works because snow is full of trapped air, making it a surprisingly effective insulator. In fact, a 6-inch layer of snow can add an R value similar to a thin foam board. So after a big storm, instead of clearing every inch, they leave a neat bank of snow along vulnerable walls. It blocks biting winds and stabilizes outdoor temperatures right next to the house. Just keep it away from doors and vents and never pile it against wood siding that could trap moisture. It's nature's winter gift, quiet, free, and working 24/7 to keep the cold where it belongs, outside. 16. Insulate your attic with straw bales for cheap natural warmth. Your attic is a heat escape hatch. If it's not insulated, warm air rises and vanishes through the roof. The Amish often use straw bales, not hay, they mold more easily, to block that loss. Dry, tightly packed straw bales laid across the attic floor create a thick, breathable barrier that traps heat below while letting moisture escape, unlike some synthetic insulations that can trap condensation. It's cheap, renewable, and readily available in farming areas. Just make sure the straw is bone dry and kept away from chimneys or heat sources for safety. Many Amish homes have used this method for generations, keeping upper floors warm without a single watt of electricity. And in spring, the used straw can go straight to the garden as mulch or compost. No fancy tools, no toxic materials, just earth-friendly, time-tested insulation that turns waste into warmth. Cold floors are silent heat thieves. Even if your room feels warm, icy feet tell your body you're freezing, and that makes you crank the heat. The Amish solve this with simple wool-soled slippers. Wool doesn't just trap warmth, it wicks away moisture and stays insulating even when damp. Unlike thin fabric or rubber soles, thick wool creates a real barrier between your feet and chilly wood or stone floors. Many Amish families knit or sew their own, using leftover yarn or repurposed sweaters. The result? Instant comfort the moment you step out of bed, and a core body temperature that stays steady without extra fuel. It's a tiny change with a big ripple effect. Warm feet mean you feel warmer overall, use less wood, and sleep better. No batteries, no cords, just cozy, quiet steps through a winter day. Dry winter air doesn't just chap your lips, it makes your whole body feel colder and saps moisture from your skin, throat, and wood furniture. The Amish fix this with a simple, silent humidifier, a wide, open bucket of water placed near the wood stove. As the stove radiates heat, it gently evaporates the water, adding moisture back into the air. The result? A warmer-feeling room, easier breathing, and less static shock when you touch a doorknob. Some even use an old wash tub or galvanized pail. It doesn't need to boil, just sit and steam softly. Refill it daily, and you'll notice the difference in comfort almost immediately. No electricity, no filters, no noise, just clean, natural humidity that works while you live your day. In a world of plastic gadgets, sometimes the oldest solutions are the most refreshing. You don't need a fridge to keep carrots crisp or apples sweet through deep winter. The Amish use root cellars. And you don't need a full basement either. Many build small, insulated storage pits right under their porch or in a shaded corner of the yard. Dug just below the frost line, lined with stone or wood and covered with a tight door, these cool, dark spaces stay between 32 degrees F and 40 degrees F all season. That's perfect for potatoes, beets, cabbage, and even jars of preserves. The earth acts as natural insulation, while a small vent keeps air moving to prevent mold. No electricity, no noise, no monthly bills. Just food that stays fresh for months, exactly as nature intended. Plus, stepping outside to grab dinner in a snowstorm beats a trip to the grocery store any day. It's food security old school style. Quiet, reliable, and rooted in the ground beneath your feet. Canning isn't the only way to save summer's harvest. The Amish often turn to fermentation. Cabbage becomes tangy sauerkraut, cucumbers turn into crisp pickles, and carrots or beets transform into probiotic snacks, all without a single watt of electricity. You just chop fresh veggies, pack them in a clean jar with saltwater brine, and let time and good bacteria do the rest. The cool basement or root cellar slows the process, creating flavorful, living food that stays good for months. But here's the winter win. Fermented foods are packed with gut-friendly probiotics that support your immune system when colds and flu are everywhere. No fancy equipment needed, just a jar, salt, water, and patience. It's preservation with purpose, food that not only lasts, but actually helps you stay healthy when the thermometer drops. And the best part? It tastes alive, bright, sour, and deeply satisfying on a gray January day. When it's minus 10 degrees F outside, your body burns extra fuel just to stay warm, and the Amish know it. That's why their winter meals are rich in fats and calories. Buttered potatoes, thick bean stews with lard, sourdough bread slathered in homemade butter, and hearty oatmeal cooked with cream. These aren't cheat meals, they're survival fuel. Fat takes longer to digest, releasing steady energy and helping maintain core temperature for hours. Unlike sugary snacks that spike and crash, a bowl of pork and bean soup keeps you warm from the inside out. Many Amish families render their own lard or tallow, use full-fat dairy, and never shy away from eggs or cheese in winter. It's not about overeating, it's about eating wisely for the season. Your body isn't a summer camper, it's a winter engine. Feed it like one, and you'll feel the difference in your bones. Steady warmth, lasting energy, and the quiet strength to chop wood, haul water, or simply enjoy a snowy afternoon without shivering. 22. Store honey in sealed jars for eternal sweetness and winter wellness. Honey isn't just a sweetener, it's a timeless winter staple the Amish rely on year after year. Stored in clean, airtight jars, raw honey literally never spoils. Archaeologists have found edible honey in ancient Egyptian tombs. The Amish keep it on hand not just for baking or sweetening tea, but as a natural remedy for sore throats, coughs, and fatigue during cold season. A spoonful in warm water or herbal tea soothes irritation and gives a quick energy boost without sugar crashes. Plus, local raw honey may even help with seasonal allergies over time. They often buy it in bulk from local beekeepers or harvest from their own hives, then store it in cool, dark pantries where it stays liquid or gently crystallizes, both perfectly fine. No refrigeration, no expiration date, no waste. Just pure golden resilience in a jar. On a dark, icy morning, that spoonful of honey isn't just comfort, it's centuries of wisdom, sweet and ready. 23. Dry apples, beans, and herbs in summer to rehydrate them all winter. While the sun is strong and the air is warm, the Amish are already prepping for winter, one slice at a time. They thinly slice apples, shell beans, and bundle herbs, then lay them out on screens in a dry, breezy attic or shaded porch to air dry naturally. No electricity, no dehydrator, just time, airflow, and sunshine. Once fully dried, these foods go into cloth sacks or glass jars, stored in a cool pantry where they'll last for months. Come January, a handful of dried apples simmers into sweet sauce in minutes. Dried beans cook faster and need less fuel. Herbs like thyme or mint flavor soups and teas without a trip to the store. Is preservation at its simplest, lightweight, space-saving, and packed with summer's goodness. And because nothing's wasted, not even bruised fruit, it's also deeply respectful of the harvest. When snow covers the ground, that jar of dried apples isn't just food. It's a taste of August sunshine, saved for the coldest days. 24. Keep chickens in a coop attached to your house for extra heat and fresh eggs. Chickens aren't just egg machines, they're tiny feathered space heaters. The Amish often build their chicken coops right against the back wall of the house, sharing a common insulated wall or even a small access door. The bird's body heat, each hen gives off about 10 watts of warmth, radiates gently into the home, especially at night when they huddle together. In return, the chickens stay warmer too, which keeps them laying eggs even in deep winter when most flocks go quiet. It's a quiet, symbiotic partnership. You get fresh protein on snowy mornings, and your home gets a subtle, free boost in warmth. Just make sure the coop is well ventilated to control moisture and odor, and separated by a solid, draft-free barrier for hygiene. No electricity, no fan, no cost. Just the soft cluck of content hens and the quiet reward of resilience. On the dark, icy morning, that shared wall might only raise your indoor temp by a degree or two, but in off-grid living, every degree counts. 25. Layer with wool instead of cotton to stay warm even when damp. Cotton might feel soft, but in winter it's a liability. The moment it gets damp, from sweat, snow, or humidity, it pulls heat from your body fast. That's why the Amish swear by wool, from head to toe. Wool fibers trap warm air into tiny pockets, creating natural insulation. Even better, wool still works when wet. It can absorb up to 30% of its weight in moisture without feeling damp, and it actually generates a little heat as it dries. Amish families wear wool long underwear, socks, vests, and caps, often handmade and passed down or traded locally. It's breathable, durable, and gets softer with use. On a cold chore morning, a wool base layer means you stay warm while feeding animals or hauling wood, even if you work up a sweat. Skip the cotton hoodies and fleece that quit the second they get moist. Go with what's kept people alive in blizzards for centuries. Honest, humble wool that works as hard as you do. On a cold night, that wool base layer isn't just warmth, it's insulation that keeps working. And that makes your whole body shiver. The Amish don't debate the science. They just pull on a simple knit wool cap before bed. It's soft, snug, and traps warmth without overheating. Many Amish children and adults sleep this way all winter, especially in unheated bedrooms. The cap doesn't need to be fancy. Hand knit from leftover yarn, store-bought, or even a repurposed sock with the toe cut off works fine. Paired with warm blankets, it helps you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer without cranking extra wood into the stove. It's quiet, zero cost, and takes 2 seconds to put on. On the darkest, coldest nights, that little cap isn't just cozy, it's common sense wrapped in wool. 27. Toss a hot water bottle or heated soapstone into bed before sleeping. There's nothing worse than sliding into a bed that feels like an icebox. The Amish avoid that shock with a simple bedtime ritual. They heat a soapstone disc in the stove, or fill a rubber hot water bottle with steaming water, then tuck it deep under the covers 10 minutes before bed. By the time they get in, the sheets are warm, the chill is gone, and sleep comes fast. Soapstone holds heat for hours, longer than bricks or microwavable pads, and hot water bottles are reusable for decades. Both are silent, safe, and need no electricity. Some even wrap the stone in a wool sock to soften the heat. It's not about luxury, it's about efficiency. A warm bed means you use fewer quilts, burn less wood overnight, and wake up rested, not stiff from cold. On nights when the wind howls and frost paints the windows, that pocket of warmth isn't just comfort, it's quiet defiance against the freeze. 28. Do light chores before bed to naturally raise your core temperature. Instead of shivering under layers until you fall asleep, the Amish give their bodies a gentle warm-up first. Right before bed, they do light, purposeful chores, feeding the animals, stacking a few logs by the stove, or sweeping the kitchen floor. These calm, rhythmic movements get blood flowing and gently raise core body temperature without breaking a sweat. The result? You climb into bed already warm, so you fall asleep faster and stay comfortable longer, even in a cool room. It's not about exhausting yourself. It's about using movement as medicine. No gym, no gear, just the natural rhythm of homestead life syncing with your body's needs. On a still winter night, that quiet walk to the barn or the soft thud of wood hitting the pile isn't just work. It's your body's pre-sleep heater running on nothing but motion and intention. And by the time you're under the quilts, the cold doesn't stand a chance. 29. Share body heat by sleeping in the same room or even the same bed. When temperatures plummet, the Amish lean into closeness, not just for comfort, but for survival. It's common for families to sleep in the same room during deep winter, and in extreme cold, even share a bed. Body heat is real, measurable warmth. Two people under one quilt create a microclimate that's significantly warmer than sleeping alone. Children often sleep with parents or siblings not out of necessity alone, but as a practical strategy to conserve heat and reduce the need for extra firewood. There's no shame in it, just wisdom. In a world that prizes privacy above all, this might sound unusual, but in off-grid life, warmth is a shared resource. A shared bed means fewer blankets, less fuel burned overnight, and deeper, more secure sleep. It's human connection as insulation, quiet, ancient, and profoundly effective. On the coldest nights, closeness isn't just comforting, it's how you stay warm without spending a dime. 30. Embrace the cold with daily outdoor walks to build resilience. The Amish don't hide from winter, they meet it head-on. Even in deep cold, you'll find them stepping outside daily for chores, walks, or just a breath of crisp air. This isn't stubbornness, it's strategy. Regular, brief exposure to cold trains your body to adapt, improving circulation, boosting metabolism, and raising your natural cold tolerance over time. They dress in layers, move steadily, and never overdo it, but they stay in rhythm with the season instead of fighting it. That daily walk to the barn, the woodpile, or the mailbox becomes a quiet ritual of resilience. It clears the mind, strengthens the immune system, and reminds you that you're capable even when the wind bites. You don't need to run a mile in snow boots. Just 5 minutes outside, fully present, resets your relationship with winter. The cold doesn't own you. You move through it, respect it, and grow stronger because of it. And that mindset, that's the real off-grid superpower. So there you have it. 30 Amish-tested, off-grid approved hacks to conquer even the harshest winter without flipping a switch or breaking the bank. These aren't just survival tricks, they're a mindset. Prepare early, waste nothing, and trust in simple solutions. If you found even one of these useful, do me a favor, hit that like button. It tells YouTube this matters. Drop a comment below. Which hack are you trying first? I read every single one. And if you're serious about living smarter, subscribe and tap the bell, because next week I'm breaking down Amish food preservation secrets that beat canned goods. Stay warm, stay ready, and remember, sometimes the oldest ways are the wisest. See you next time.